I don't know if this is some type of sign for me. Like maybe I should back off a little bit on the internet stuff. I don't know. I don't get it, man. But that's a lot of things going wrong all at once. When it rains, it pours. So let's.
When it rains, it pours refers to some small negative thing that happens, followed shortly thereafter by something highly negative. And it's considered to be a truism, where if there's one small mistake that happens, you can be pretty sure there's a good chance that there's a bigger mistake lurking there somewhere. Or likewise, if something bad happens and it turns out to be real bad, you can just say, wow, when it rains, it pours, is an expression of disbelief over just how bad the negative thing is. The origin of the expression seems to come from a logo for Morton Salt, where they have a little girl, she's holding an umbrella, and she's holding on to a big container of salt, which is leaking out the back. And then the logo expression, the tagline is, when it rains, it pours. Largely, the expression refers to the intensity of the negativity. So if it's just something mild, you wouldn't use it. But if it's something fairly severe that follows something that is mild, then it's appropriate to use the expression. Or, otherwise, if something very severe comes as a surprise, then you say, when it rains, it pours. It also refers to the difference in intensity between a normal rainstorm, rains, which might be fairly light, and pours, which would be a very intense rainstorm. Just as if you go outside and it's raining, and you might hope it just keeps raining, but at the same time, you're aware that at some point it could just start to really pour. So included here is a fatalistic attitude, so to speak, that if you are out in the rain, you fully have to expect that at any point it might start to pour. So metaphorically, we apply this to various situations. Typically, if there's some small event followed by a much more serious event, or as a warning, if something small happens, that the possibility is also demonstrated that something much more serious could happen. So rather than worry about the little small thing that you can't do anything about, to concentrate on preventing the more serious thing from happening. Or if something serious happens right out of the blue, to just realize that that's what will oftentimes happen. Some serious event will create itself almost out of nowhere, unexpectedly, and you have to be prepared for that in life, even if it means being fatalistic about what happens. So basically, you say that when you have some bad luck, and you expect more bad luck of greater intensity to follow. I was driving along the highway the other day, and I got a flat tire. So I pulled over to the side of the road, onto the shoulder. I got out of the car to check the tire, and all of a sudden another car comes and plows into the back of my car out of nowhere. And I said, wow, when it rains, it pours. Our company got bought out about 3 weeks ago, and they invited us in for the orientation meeting. And the new manager came in and said, you know, it's been really nice having you all work for the company. Unfortunately, we're going to have to fire every single one of you. And we just looked at each other and we said, wow, when it rains, it pours.
Oh, that's a whoopee cushion. Are you ready?
Yeah?
Oh, man.
A whoopee cushion is a practical joke device consisting of a bladder, a rubber bladder that you put underneath somebody's seat cushion, and when they sit down in the cushion, it makes a farting sound. So used to see these in the back of comic book magazines, and I'm sure you can still buy them. It's a kid's practical joke device, and they go to great trouble to play this joke on people, like their parents. And sometimes the parents will even play along. They'll say, I know what that kid's doing. And then they sit down and it makes the farting sound, and then the kids all laugh. And then the parents say, yeah, that was funny. But the parent was just playing along. So a whoopee cushion is made from 2 pieces of rubber that are glued together. And there's some way to fill it with air. And then when the person sits on it, the air goes out the side or through some valve and makes a farting sound. So a whoopee cushion is a practical joke device, and it's, in this respect, it's similar to other practical joke devices, such as a dribble glass, where a person drinks out of the glass and then they dribble all over themselves, or pens that squirt out ink is another joke device as well. And then part of the reason why it's supposed to be funny is because people in general are supposed to find farts funny. A certain type of fart humor is out there somewhere, and some people get involved with it and think it's kind of funny. I went to this meeting, and somebody actually had the nerve to put a whoopee cushion in the boss's chair. It was just sitting right there. There wasn't actually any pad. The boss probably thought it was the pad. So he sat down on the thing and made this big farting sound. And then everybody just kind of looks at each other like, who put the whoopee cushion in the boss's chair? And it turns out there was a VP. He was laughing the most, and we all figured it was him. And he was the boss's boss. So, the natural suspect. I got this friend Mike. He's a real practical joker. 3 weeks ago, he squirted me all over my shirt with a ink pen, which I just thought was hilarious. And then he showed me his new calculator, which was a squirt gun, and I thought that was funny too. And then just last week, he put a whoopee cushion in my chair, and I sat on it and made a farting sound, and everybody laughed, and it was just hilarious. ESL-fullsteamahead.com